You're never fully in control, but it doesn't matter because you are everything. You know what the real messed up thing about it all is? The only reason we had trouble with this and we got stuck in this existence in this way is because we had pride and we took ownership over the actions of the body mind and became engrossed with this idea of authorship or doership and the pride that goes along with this. I did this. And so it's a tragedy of ego, it's a tragedy of pride. And the more that we try to cling to this I, the more that life, the self that we are, continually shows us, hey, you're not in control. Hey, you're not in control. You're not in control. You're not in control. Humiliating us, smashing us. Because we're not really in control. But it doesn't really matter. We don't have to be. Being in control is not a prerequisite to having a good life. In fact, one might say not being in control is a prerequisite. More so. That would be more of an accurate statement than saying being in control is a prerequisite. Because the more that we try to do something and as an individual I, think about that, in the scope of the universe, one tiny thought in somebody's brain that says I am is going to author a total divergence from the overall pattern and destiny of the rest of the pattern of the universe and saying, I am now going to do this. That's bullshit. You're not really going to do anything because you're not really the doer. You're not the doer. But it's okay. You don't have to be the doer. It's not important for you to be the doer. It's not a prerequisite to health or safety or happiness in any way, shape, or form. It has nothing to do with anything. It's just a thought. I am. I am. Even the idea of being a witness is just a thought. Or being enlightened, it's just a thought. It's all in thought. It's all an experience. One is not higher than the other. Maharaj said, your problem is you like one part of your dream more than the other part. Letting go of control is accepting the entirety of the dream and saying, I am okay with whatever state, whatever thing happens, knowing that I'm ultimately beyond it. That's the beginning of the true impetus of the beginning of the highest awakening to the self. Is saying, I am beyond it, and it doesn't concern me. And to that extent, it's a test, and it has to be proven. The self has to prove to itself that it is free, that it is not bound by form. And this can sometimes be a very extreme sort of a test. But just remember this. The more you realize you're not in control, the more you are being honest with yourself about what's really going on, because you're not really in control. In the scope of the entire universe, what role do you play in the determination of the various facets of this existence? Is there a pristineness to the way that you're thinking where you want the perfect to be totally separate from the imperfect? If this is the case for you, you are in the same realm, in the same class as the Buddha, as so many other awakened beings who were searching for perfection. But ultimately the Buddha came to the conclusion of the middle way that was between extensive ascetic practices and indulgence, overindulgence. But what it really was, it was the natural way. It was Nisarga yoga. It was just the yoga of just being. Natural yoga. And what it really feels like is just life. Just being yourself. It's this horrible irony that we have to make and unmake this egoic mind. We make it. That's what all of that was. I mean, growing up and learning a language and going to school, you were forming your ego for protection to fit into the context of society. And now, as you're learning Vedanta, people are saying, or Advaita, chop all that in half. What a waste of all that time. Or was it? Because it wasn't a waste to learn how to function in the world, to be functional in the world. But you have to give up the concept that you can ever fully control it all, or that you should be able to, and give in to the chaos, and this will be the beginning of wisdom for you.